All right. I interrupt your regular programming to talk to you about hand shapes. So, the air hand um, will have a square palm and long fingers. Now, mine is rectangular and I have medium to short fingers. So, and a person with an air hand, again, who has a square palm and long fingers, is someone that is conscientious and detail oriented. They need to be challenged in life so they'll not get bored. This person will be highly intelligent and often intuitive. They can make their minds up very quickly and use a combination of feelings and logic to do so. And they're very expressive and easy to be around. So, oh, and air loves to travel. So, an earth hand, that is a square palm and short fingers. So, another way also to judge the length of your fingers is gauge your palm and keep it still, and then gauge your fingers. So, you can tell that my fingers in relation to my palm are short. Now, because I mean, when I do this, I see medium to short. Doing that, I see short. But it is in my opinion that I have medium to short because, it's not a perfect rectangle and my fingers have varying lengths. So it's like, so that's just my opinion. I would believe that long would be like the exact length or longer. So, and medium would be closer to like that maybe, so it's kind of a little bit of a guessing game, but I would recommend looking up how to gauge your finger length because the shape of your palm is almost self-explanatory. So again, the earth hand is someone that is going to have a square palm and short fingers. And earth, we think about earthly, those are your grounded individuals. And the lines in their hands are very well marked, and they usually have fewer lines. So an earthly person is an earth hand person is practical, reliable, and a solid character. The person is usually busy, but can be a little impatient and possibly critical. They prefer to be quiet, and they are reluctant to take the center stage. And with them being practical, they do tend to go with the flow of things. A fire hand. A fire hand, the palm will be long, oblong, rectangular, with short fingers. And these people are idea driven. They are imaginative, enthusiastic. They can be impatient. They also are very changeable. Somebody that has a fire hand might change jobs easy because they get bored. Or they might change interest or topics easily because they get bored. And a water hand is someone with a oblong palm and long fingers. And usually those someone with a water palm has like skinny hands. They're extremely imaginative. And so that's not always true, I guess, but most of the water hands that I've seen are almost like ET looking. And like I said, I haven't seen a lot, so I'm only going off of what I've seen. But they're extremely imaginative. They're sensitive, idealistic, and they might often feel let down by other people, which is their own insecurities there. They are very creative, and they have a passion for life, but they have a lot of tension. So that's the stress I was talking about previously. Now we have blended hands. So talking about that, there is a blending called an elementary hand, and the elementary hand has a square palm. The fingers are short and stubby and without much shape. The skin of this person could be a little bit coarse if you touch it. So that's another thing that I haven't touched on is skin texture. So like somebody with a softer skin means they have more refined taste. Somebody with coarser hands maybe they're brass in the way that they talk or coarse in the way that they talk, and the coarse personality. The skin of the person with an elementary hand, it might be a little bit coarse, and there could be like hairs on the back of their hand. And that palm also has few lines. This character is stubborn and finds it difficult to express their feelings verbally. But they can still go with the flow of life, and they're quite creative. And a practical hand is somebody that has a square-shaped palm, but the fingers are long with a greater shape definition than the elementary hand. One thing I would like to point out, a person that has longer fingers compared to the short finger is like longer is they pay more attention to detail, whereas the shorter fingered person just wants to get to it. You know, it's like they don't have the patience to like go through all the details before coming to a conclusion. So that could be a form of impulsive type stuff. But primarily long means attention to detail, short means quick. So the practical hand is somebody with a square-shaped palm. The fingers are long and with greater shape definition than the elementary hand. So the texture of the skin will not be as coarse. They are practical hands, so they could be conservative, very disciplined, but they respect authority, and very reliable. So the spatulate hand, we think a spatulate. What's a spatula look like? It's like it flares a little bit. So the classification of the spatulate hand is like the practical, but the fingertips have like what resembles the spatulate. And these are typically very energetic individuals, but they are independent and very persistent in what they do. They might overindulge, and they prefer quantity over quality. And then there's the conic hand. So the conic hand is attractive and graceful. The palm is slightly oblong, but the fingers are long and have rounded tips. So mine is more blended. Like I said, it's conic. It has all those characteristics, but my fingers are not long. So the conic hand, these are creative people who have an inner desire for a perfect world. And there's a tendency to daydream rather than getting on and making their desires come true. So when you think about what I had said earlier about the longer fingers, the fact that I have shorter fingers, you know, even though it's a conic-like hand, I have the shorter fingers, so there's the more practical, you know, let's just get to it. Now, the psychic hand. The psychic hand is long and slender. That's more, I guess, what I was thinking of than the water hand. The psychic hand is long and slender, and of course, the individual will be intuitive and sensitive, very loving. They are also very easily hurt. They have a tendency to live in a fantasy world, but they're also idealistic. So when you think of the psychic hand, it's like the extreme characteristics of the water hand. A philosophical hand is a square palm, but with long fingers. So if you look at the finger joints, you'll see that they are quite visible. So, and that, like, here is what they mean there. A person with a philosophical hand is likely to want to analyze everything. They'll want to understand the reason for everything in life. Maybe I need to look at my fingers again. But my fingers are not long. So again, and I have a rectangular palm, but I do like to analyze everything. There are always other characteristics in your hands that can indicate these things. So, they like to do things their own way, and they could be a little bit eccentric, if not unorthodox. So, they have knotty joints. So, and one thing we do have to remember too, when we are talking about characteristics of the hand, we have to rule out anything that is a side effect of arthritis. So you always got to take that into consideration if you see that in a hand. So the mixed hand is like a combination of all these things. And so with knowing what we know about each hand, then you would add those or take away. And that's it. So I hope it helps as I go into these next personality types. And have a great day, everybody. See you in the next video.